So this is a Mega Drive game released on September the 14th, 1994. So that's actually a pretty late release. Let's see what the back of the box has to say to us, because see quite a lot of text there. Oh no, the dreaded trash alien has captured Spot and littered the universe with garbage. Join our hero Blaster Note on a daring mission to rescue his robot pal. Okay, so your name is Blaster Note. I saw that on the options when I was checking whether the game would run or not. And okay, so that's the live option. There's also a difficulty option and a math level option, by the way. So that's gonna be, I don't know what I'm gonna choose there. I don't think it's fair to stick to default since this game is aimed at children. We should try hardest. I don't know. So you gotta rescue your robot pal, blast your way through space junk, chase through dark and dangerous caverns, fend off nasty alien creatures. Spot's fate is in your hands. Good luck. Over 2 million kids already love Math Blaster. Yours will too. Parents. What am I doing? Math Blaster has been one of the best-selling math games for over 10 years because it skillfully combines learning and fun. Now Math Blaster is an exciting Sega adventure game that builds your children's basic math skills. They'll have so much fun learning, they'll want to play again and again. Covers addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. 12 levels of math difficulty. Fuck, we gotta go with the 12th one. We just have to. I say junk. Oh man. Alright, so this game was developed by Spidersoft, which I have a lot to say about. Developed by Spidersoft, it was produced, mind you, by Western Technologies, whom we'd not be talking about, and published by the original creators of the series, Davidson and Associates, which we will talk about. Ugyu, how's it going? It only came out in the United States of America, although the development team, like Spidersoft, was English. Alright, let's start talking about the Math Blaster series here a little bit. The series began more than 10 years prior to the Mega Drive game, because Mega Drive release is 94, but I believe this is 1983. It originated on the Apple II, but this is the DOS cover, so to speak, if you can call this a cover. Yeah, so 1983 Math Blaster with an exclamation mark was released for the Apple II home computer. It was a commercial success, was extensively tested in classrooms. Excuse me. Was recognized as a top-class education software by the charts, and with time the game became the top-selling piece of math software in all of its different forms. If you'd like to go deeper into the general subject of educational software, like games targeted towards kids with an educational purpose, you can read a book if you want to. I don't know. I found that book. It looks pretty good if you're into that for some reason. But yeah, Engineering Play: A Cultural History of Children's Software by Mizuko Ito. Now, the original Math Blaster quickly became not only a classic, but also a pioneer in the consumer educational software market, which was a new but flourishing market. New titles would set themselves apart from standard school-based software by having visuals. Visuals such as this. Like in Math Blaster, you have to shoot your guy with a cannon. It's pretty graphic. Not only that have visuals, but it also have a narrative. Like Math Blaster, for example, incorporates the educational drill into a shooting game framework. Now, as you can see there, it's asking you to divide 22 by 11. Is that how you say that in English? Divide x by y. So this is meant to teach math to children from grades 1 through 6 with addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division levels. There's a 5th level which is split into 5 sub-levels which teaches reduction of common fractions, renaming improper fractions, renaming common fractions to decimals, renaming decimals as percents, and renaming percents as fractions. Gameplay is a multiple choice screen, as you can see, where you have to move your character towards the cannon, which is aimed at the correct answer. So you see the kid on the screenshot is actually winning, about to win. There's 2 timers, one for the current problem and an overall timer. Game even had an editor actually, meant for parents or teachers to create customized lessons, which is pretty dank if you think about it for a software in 1983. Yeah, what Zaki said is true actually. Now, I'm gonna talk very much in depth about Davidson and Associates here. Let's see what we got here. We got this. Check this out. Now, Davidson and Associates was founded by a former teacher, a woman by the name of Jan Davidson, in 1982. But the game came out the year after that. Her husband Bob Davidson was also part of this, but Jan led the company as president until January 97. They were headquartered in Torrance, California, and they were not a small company. Among its owned developer studios were, and this is gonna get interesting, it was this Funny Bone Interactive. Get rid of that. There was Learning Ways, no logo available. There was First Byte as in with a Y, like the informatic byte. Capital Multimedia, no logo available either. And this time I got the logo, Chaos Studios, which changed name to Blizzard Entertainment right after getting acquired in 1994 by Davidson. Shortly before the release of Warcraft or Orcs and Humans, the first game in the popular series. So that's something I didn't know. Other Davidson subsidiaries were Maverick Software, Fast Track, Educational Resources. These 3 were acquisitions founded on distribution rather than development, as were the other ones. And I imagine only Funny Bone Interactive and Chaos Studios actually made video games and not purely educational software, not even edutainment, because there's no logos for those companies and they're not nearly as well known, even though Chaos Studios has it easy, being as it was Blizzard basically. Now, Davidson, the Davidson company was acquired by CUC Software International in 1996 and operated under their umbrella, together not only with Blizzard, but with Sierra Online, and Knowledge Adventure. Next year, though, on February the 3rd, 1997, CUC International creates CUC Software Inc., which is the logo that you see. That's the nowadays logo. And Davidson and Associates is absorbed into Knowledge Adventure. Now, what we're gonna do now is gonna get to the good stuff, because we're gonna look at the other edutainment games. Like, we're gonna look at all of them, and there's really dank stuff like I would like to play someday. A couple of them in particular, you'll agree with me. And that is before they started making games for the Fisher-Price brand. I'm not interested in those. So, I mentioned this before, but here is Alge Blaster. Nothing to say much here. This game came out in 1985, and it's the first follow-up to Math Blaster. It schooled kids from the 7th grade to the 12th. So, like, bigger kids. Both Math Blaster and Algebra Blaster would get a plus version, which was not coded in BASIC anymore and did not need typing to switch to the next step of the game. Now, this one is pretty cool. There is a Read and Roll in 1988. It's released for the Apple II and, well, like most of them, at the very least. Now, if Math Blaster is a math exercise in a shooting game context, that Read and Roll is a reading exercise in a bowling context. Your choice. But this looks pretty fun. You can choose a bowler. Gotta have the male-female choice. Main idea level 1. Yeah, okay, so you read this stuff. Jamie's favorite part of the aquarium was a touch pool. And then you have to answer some questions, like understanding questions. But there's also artwork for the actual bowling, as you can see. Average summer temperature is very low. And a strike. We got a strike. We played the game. Cool. You see it says Moby because obviously I'm taking the screenshots from Moby games. Alright. Next. Yeah, Spell It Plus came out in 1988. Not much to say here. Just spell words. You're using the same UI in the main menu. You gotta fix it. Look at that. Each of you should sell 5 tickets for the dance. The Joneses are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. When you're 18, you can register to vote. That last one is obviously wrong. Alright, here's one of the 2 games. Actually, the next 2 games are games I would like to try someday because they look very fun. Maybe they're good stream games. I don't know. Have to try. Headline Harry and the Great Paper Race. This one is seriously dank. Biff, what's up? I don't know what that is. I'ma tell you, I don't know it. Now, this is more of an adventure game with actual challenge and not specifically aimed for kids. Although it does maintain a strong educational component as the character, a reporter trying to build a story, Headline Harry, goes from place to place and gets leads about historical facts from 1950 to 1990. Got some screenshots as usual. This looks pretty good. Hope your new cowboy boots are comfortable. This is your chance to break them in and scoop the biggest story of the year. And it's got pretty good art. This came out in 91. Looks like it's got a load of screens as well. You can choose where to go. And there's a timer. There's a timer, you gotta hurry up. Don't tussle with me, Tenderfoot. I'm tougher than the steak sandwich they serve here. I like how he's edging over the frame. I wonder if I can do that too. Fuck, I can't. Kid Cat, is that a Fisher, one of the Fisher Price line? I didn't find that. I didn't find that one. The Rio Grande is over 1,000 miles long. It's the longest river in the state. Random facts, everyone. Suddenly I noticed what appeared to be snow coming down. Of course I realized that it wasn't really snow but some kind of flying powder. Washington resident, not president. What? You're just getting this mug. Your leg is all fucked up. Stop laughing. It's not your fucking birthday, man. Exactly, Tenderfoot, sub-dispatch. Alright, this is the other one I'd like to try someday. The Lost Tribe. This one seems extremely good. Let's say ages 8 and up, but it's one of those games that I played as a kid. I would have fucking loved it. Antoine, what is up? Thank you very much for the host. So, this one came out in 92. And this one you go back in time and you lead a prehistorical settlement to a new home after theirs was swallowed by a volcano eruption. The Lost Tribe, a modern game of strategy in a prehistoric world. Live cinders explode into the sky and fiery lava spews out of Belchfire Mountain, obliterating your primitive village and rendering the surrounding area uninhabitable. Burned and exhausted, the tribal elder chooses you to lead your homeless tribe away from danger to an ancient homeland known only from legend. You must keep your people safe, fed and rested, and resolve the conflicts among them, never losing sight of your important mission. One says Lawrence production. Of course, not all of these games are necessarily developed by Davidson or anything like that, but I think most of them are, if they had any internal development studio. But I omitted games that were not as interesting as these, because this one was super dank. Look at this stuff. This is the intro screen. This one has a strong and interesting strategy component. Look at that UI. Okay, look at this screenshot. There's resources and there's map hexes to move to. This looks insanely good for a game like this. There's 6 different scenarios, and the educational component consists basically of notions about the culture and mythology of prehistoric cultures. Hey, this looks cool. Looks like a cool game. There you go. Today's election day. Glurg is challenging incumbent Blug for the office of Drain Commissioner. Yeah, this looks like a cool game. Alright, moving on. We got Math Blaster Episode 1, In Search of Spot. One came out in 1993 and it's originally a DOS game. It's the one we're gonna play shortly on Mega Drive. It also had a SNES port, a Super Nintendo port, by the same developer, Spidersoft. Interesting to note here are the elements missing from the home version that were available in this computer original version, such as a game mode called Number Recycler, where you could create equations by pushing around columns of numbers and operators. And so you could turn trash into spaceship fuel. That's why it's called Number Recycler. So it's educating you not only in math, but also in being a good citizen of space, I guess. There was also an editor where you could create new tasks and problem sets, like in the previous Math Blaster games. And you had the ability to print a certificate issued upon clearing the game. That stuff is not going to be in the Mega Drive game. Alright, this one is cool. It's another Math Blaster game, but they gave it a bit of a cool spin here. Adventure spin. This is Math Blaster Mystery, The Great Brain Robbery. It came out in 1994 and it's a Macintosh game that takes the point and click approach to deliver a graphical experience where the player has to explore a haunted mansion. This is aimed at children of age 10 and above, and the game has a built-in calculator for kids that might get stuck. Kids and ashamed adults alike, why not? It's got fancy graphics for what it is. You see, it came out in Sweden as well. I can't read that, but yeah. Also seems to be a chef that will instruct you on how to do a recipe, but it will use proportions and ratios that you have to figure out with math. So that's that one. Now there was also Math Blaster Episode 2, Secret of the Lost City. As you can tell, they took the presentation values a couple notches above right here. Alchemin, what's up? You had this one, awesome. It looks amazing, man. I have a shitload of screenshots for this one. You're gonna love it. Math Blaster Episode 2, Secret of the Lost City. Now this one takes the story and character component to a higher level, like with Dr. Minus, which is obsessed with subtractions. This time the visual aid seems to be a puzzle platformer game. There's anti-white boxes below, but I believe you have to put the numbers in there while platforming around the stage and do the solution or something. You have to put the numbers in the right order. But you see the graphics are something else. You had to search for Spot 1 on PC. Nice, that's the you had this one. See, this is the game we're gonna play on Mega Drive, Biff. You had the original. Did you ever print the certificate you get in the DOS one when you win? And you can print it? Alright, check this out. Got more screenshots. Yeah, see there's various game modes, but it all seems to revolve around it being a puzzle platformer. Still, the focus is on operations, and you're in some city that at some point it's revealed to actually be a spaceship with a lot of stuff to look at. Mission accomplished. OPIP got a score 3150. That is Math Blaster's Secret of Lost City. Now, next up, we got Alge Blaster 3. This is gonna be the last one. This came out in 1994. This also steps the lore game up, as you have to fend off an alien invasion and you actually have characters, but the focus isn't as much on the visuals and characters as with Math Blaster Episode 2. Rather, it tried to be more clever in its seriousness, if you like it should be for a edutainment product that is aimed at kids rather than children. Sound the alarm. Planet Quadratica is under attack. You've been called to join the commander and his team to use your algebra skills to save their home from invasion by the Red Nasties. Learn algebra skills and solve simple problems and challenge your tutorial completed with its animated video chalkboard. That's pretty cool. Crack the Nasties code by translating equations and solving puzzles in the coder. Use simulator to graph the movements of the battle. Aim missiles at the invaders to defend Quadratica City in Red Alert. You'll learn a full year's worth of algebra while you have fun protecting your planet. This online help will answer all the questions about using Algebra Blaster 3. An online glossary of algebra terms is also available. That's cool, man. A full year of worth. Yeah, you can see the Apple logo on the top left. So they can't. At some point, they moved from the Apple to the Apple IIgs and then to the Mac, basically. Got more screenshots. Here you lost screenshots. But I spend time on them. Wait, is this a rebus? Can we solve this? It's quadrants. It's spoilers. Okay, it's quadrants. Alright. Oh, space shooting mechanics, aliens and score. Red Alert, the Red Nasties are attacking. Are you ready? This looks like that, what's its name? Come on, the game, the old game. Alright. Now, after this point, Davidson's company started to develop games for the Fisher-Price series, which we're not gonna look into. They're barely video games. But a couple more interesting games that came out during that period, which was the period of the acquisition by CUC, as we said, and then the absorption into Knowledge Adventure, are Math Blaster ages 9 to 12, which by now speaks for itself, and Eat My Dust, ages 8 and up. Now, this is an interesting kart racing game. Came out in 1997 with a discrete customization. Like, you can choose both the driver and the vehicle. Look at the back of the box there. Can I read that? Feel the need for speed, ready to thrash the competition, skilled at hurling rubber chickens. Climb in, buckle up, and rev your engine in the wacky 3D road race. You'll ever experience outrageous cars, crazy characters, wicked driving conditions, and low down, dirty tricks are the rules of the road. So gear up and get ready to outsmart your opponent in this mind-blowing, adrenaline-rushing road race. The easiest interface ever. You'll be on the road in no time. Rubber chicken, a swarm of bees, and other honey hazards. Alright, there's 4 stages, 5 turbocharged vehicles, and 6 hysterical drivers. Adrenaline rushing music and 3D sound. Internet website featuring contests, high scores, downloadable track editor, and more. That's pretty badass. It also had online play, but that barely worked, if anything. You may have had that. It's pretty cool. The Pringles? The Hog? Oh, I don't know that, Hawkman. That's pretty interesting. Number Muncher. You're welcome, Biff. Prongles. I don't know the Prongles hog. Prongles. I thought you misspelled Pringles. Okay, that does look like it. It does. This one you mean? Oh, let's see. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Have to see which one came first. The zaniest 3D road race ever. I almost didn't read the sign. Have to read every video game related sign. Thanks for the plug there, Altman. But what are Prongles? Why do they sound so similar to Pringles? At any rate. Now, after this point, as we mentioned, Davidson's company started to develop games for the Fisher Price series, but a couple more interesting games. No, I'm reading back. My bad. Let's go back. Let's go back to this. Right, this is the game we're gonna play, right? So let's talk about it. Prongles is the joke on Pringles made by the car. Okay. So that's something way more recent than '97, right? I never played Cards Against Humanity, but I heard a lot. Okay. Okay, I see. That could be cool. Although they both look like Bebop from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, don't they? Or any other cartoon hog for that matter, like Pumbaa from The Lion King. Anyway, Math Blaster Episode 1 in search of spot for the Sega Mega Drive. Now, as much as the original game was done by Davidson and Associates, this console version is produced by Western Technologies, as we say, and developed by Spidersoft. Now, while there's gonna be other chances to talk about Western Technologies, the same cannot be said for Spidersoft. So, let's start talking about Spidersoft. This is gonna get dank. It's gonna be a surprise, and you actually probably play something that was tested by them later on. Nowadays, they still exist under another form, but I'm not gonna spoil too much. But it's interesting at the very least. Now, this English company, as we say, these guys are English. This game came out only in the States, but it's developed by English dudes. The company was founded in May 1992 by Steve Marsden and David Cook, with the help of Andrew Hewson. Now, the three guys here had a prior relationship, which could be summarized in just one game: the ZX Spectrum game, Technician Ted. Now, Marsden and Cook developed it, and Hewson's company, which is Hewson's Consultants, this guy had good taste for logos, published it in 1984. Now, this company here closed its door in 1991, but another company was already prepared to be founded, as a few weeks later, he founded this 21st Century Entertainment. Whoever the fuck made his logos was one cool mama jamma. So, among the Spidersoft games, some games are ports of pinball games, most of you know, published by 21st Century Entertainment and developed by the Swedish Digital Illusions team, such as Pinball Dreams or Pinball Fantasies is the Jaguar box because reasons, and Pinball Illusions. Now, Spidersoft developed the Super Nintendo version of Pinball Dreams and the Jaguar version of Pinball Fantasies, which is quite the display of versatility if you think they also worked on Spectrum ports, Game Boy ports, and Game Gear ports. Speaking of Game Boy games, I got something. I got this. There's a picture of Steve Martin from the Game Boy Color game Austin Powers. Um, Oh Behave stuff picture from like 2000 2001 in the game. Now, speaking of the Spectrum and pinball games, Spidersoft developed the Spectrum port of this game. The game is Time Scanner. This is its arcade flyer because it's an arcade game by Sega from 1987. Yes, which they developed for their System 16 arcade hardware. This is it's a pretty cool game. Very old, but obviously there's better pinball games physics-wise to play nowadays. But this one's pretty cool. I played it a bit on MAME years ago. It's okay. It's a cool game. It's got good music. Anyway, they got acquired Spidersoft by their publisher, which is Hewson's company, the 21st Century Entertainment Company. Oh wait, I got a box for the Spectrum version thing. Got acquired in 1995, but this company would also close down in 98. 98, however, in June is when Spidersoft, by the time they had this logo, Spidersoft was renamed into Tarantula Studios. Alright. That's because they were acquired by Take-Two. Man, look at that precision with the fucking squares. This was quite the seed of change for them, as after working on Game Boy and Game Boy Color games, such as not only their original concept, but also like Take-Two stuff, they had them make like Grand Theft Auto. The studio went through another name change in 2001 when it was renamed to Rockstar Lincoln. Rockstar Lincoln, now officially sheltered under the Take-Two umbrella that is the Rockstar Games label. The Math Blaster Mega Drive was made by Rockstar Lincoln. Pretty much. It's accurate. Pretty accurate. Nowadays, the Rockstar Lincoln Studios, it focuses solely on testing, localization, and quality assurance for Rockstar games. And it is said that it was the subsidiary who suffered the hardest during Red Dead Redemption 2's rumored harsh development environment, with testers said to be forced to work not only during the weekdays, like the weekend, sorry, but also during the nights. 3 nights per week at first, then 5. That's what they say. Alright, most of it's done now. Gonna talk a bit about the Sega Club, a bit about the composer. I'm gonna challenge ourselves with little kid math. Alright, so Sega Club should have a logo around. Can't find it. Alright, found it. I gotta get down. Now, this game is part of the Sega Club brand, which was applied by Sega on America to Sega of America to certain games aimed at younger children. The brand was supposed to evolve into other interesting releases, such as a themed console and accessories, but that didn't really happen. The only thing they did, they sold the stock Japanese 6-button pads, and they marketed as being like fit for smaller hands. In Brazil, however, the similar brand Mega Kids did a much better job. They even had like club members, like actual club members. But we'll have more chances to talk in depth about Sega Club whenever one of the other 8 games comes up. Not interested in this right now. Get rid of this shit up here. There you go. Now, what I want to talk about to close this off is the composer, of course, as usual. I'll talk about the sound. This game has actually an extremely competent soundtrack, which I was not expecting. The music in this game is real good. It's really good. Unfortunately, its sound engine is unknown because it was probably custom made by the composer. Now, the music as well as the sound effects are the work of Mark Cooksey. Cooksey, you were listening to his stuff during the pre-stream. If you were there was a Commodore 64 music playing. It was all of his stuff. As we learned from the credits within the game manual, he did the music and sound for Math Blaster. As far as I know, the only other Mega Drive game he scored music for is Arch Rivals, the port of the Midway basketball game. Is it Arch Rivals? I think it's Arch Rivals. We already played that on the Megamarathon as well. I had pretty good sound. I listened back to it. It was good. Born 18 January 1966 in Skegness, Lincolnshire, England, Mark Cooksey is most known for his Commodore 64 soundtracks. His interest for computers started with his first computer in 1984, an Auric Atmos. Look at that beast. In February 85, he applied for a job at Elite Systems. Yeah. His first job was writing a music player in Assembly 6502 language for his own Auric computer along with a music track at the Airwolf team. That's how Mark Cooksey was hired and then got caught up in the world of 80s video game music. Now from the Commodore 64 he would move on to create music for the whole Game Boy line of products. He is mostly remembered for his beautiful renditions, in particular that in the Commodore 64 version of Ghosts and Goblins, which we were listening to earlier. I'm gonna close this with a couple lines from Mark Cooksey before reading the manual. Interview he gave for Remix64.com, which says, "Much of your music was made for Elite. What could you tell our readers about the experience?" It says, "There were some real characters at Elite. It's a wonder any work ever got done. I remember an incident where one chap was restrained by the others, a red crash helmet was put on his head, and then he was locked up in a filing cabinet. This was then turned upside down, much to the amusement of everyone else. Another time, another chap who had long hair and resembled the general appearance of Jesus was pseudo-crucified on a hastily erected wooden cross. These are just a couple of the many incidents that occurred. We did do some work in between, honest." Yeah, I think it's the same interview where he's asked a lot of the work he's done were like adaptations. If he wishes he would have done more original music of his own, he says of course, but so cool, blah blah blah. After the Commodore 64 like died out, so to speak, he basically moved on to Game Boy work. He had a lot of Game Boy work for all the normal Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. I bet he did sick ass music. I didn't listen to that. I only listened to the Commodore 64 stuff. But I love the Game Boy audio as opposed to the NES audio, which I don't like. Subtle differences that are not so subtle at all. Alright, let's dive deep into the manual now. Hope you enjoyed that bit of research I did. Eventually, I plan. I put all this work in this stuff not only because I like it, but it's I have it all stashed, so it's ready to go on my computer, like on my website later this year, which is gonna be pretty dank. Hopefully this year. All right, let me capture the manual. I have a Chrome source. Does it work? Kind of. No. Right on. Right. Exactly. Alright. Seizure warning. Warning to owners. Handling a cartridge. Note to parents. Here's the stuff. Here's the stuff. Dear parents, over 2 million children have enjoyed learning basic math skills with the Math Blaster series on computer, and now with Math Blaster Episode 1 on Sega. Even more kids will have the chance to play and to learn. Yours will be one of them. While playing this exciting arcade-style game, your child will master addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, 12 levels of math difficulty, and 2 levels of gameplay ensure endless hours of numeric fun. Man, my child will become a beast. We hope to count both you and your child among our many Math Blaster fans. Yours sincerely, Jan Davidson, president and founder. Here's an old picture of her. We showed a more recent picture here with her husband. Man, I wonder how long would it take on defaults. That's kind of what I want to try, but at the same time, it feels like cheating if I don't play on like a hardest mode or something. The mission. Oh no, the evil trash alien has captured Spot, whisked him off to a faraway planet, and left the universe littered with trash. The astronaut's preparing a daring 3-part rescue mission to save his trusty sidekick, but he needs your help. Climb on board and prepare to zap the garbage out of the sky, freeze all alien enemies, and rescue Spot. There's controls. Trust, fire, and shields. Holy shit, you navigate with your ship or something. Trash zapper. Complete the math equation by blasting the piece of trash with the correct number out of the universe. If you blast the wrong piece of trash, you lose energy. If you allow one of the trash alien's cruise missiles to rock blaster now ships, you lose energy. Excuse me. Remember to raise your shields for protection. Shoot satellites to recharge shield power. And for extra points, zap the trash alien's attack ships. Answer 10 questions to move on to the bonus round and to the next stage. Fuck, 6 plus question mark equals 10. Man, I don't know if I can do that. Cave Runner. In order to chase the trash alien through the caves, Blaster Note must carry a code number that falls between the numbers on either side of the cave gaps. For example, if the numbers are 5 and 9, then Blaster Note's code must be more than 5 and less than 9. 6, 7, or 8 will work. I don't get it. Like, there's 2 numbers. Like, let me show you the mouse cursor. Oh fuck, it broke it. There you go. Like, if there's a number here and a number here, and this is 5 and this is 9, I can bring 6, 7, and 8. Is that what it's saying? Oh yeah, it's okay. It's saying just that. Change the code by letting a water drop with a useful number. An operation sign plop and blaster nuts. This shit is incomprehensible to me, let alone a 6-year-old kid. Fly away from lava bombs and force fields. Use the freeze ray to stop alien cave creatures in a track. But as you all know, back in the day we had less games and more time, and we were way more patient with games. We would figure out whatever we had, no matter what. Is that cage for bonus points? The cave will scroll as you play, fly blaster to the top to move to the next phase of the mission. Math Blaster, this is what I'm talking about, the title game. The evil trash alien is getting away with Spot. Blaster must blast his way through the garbage and head to the porthole. Has the correct answer to the equation. Look out for escaped alien cave creatures. Whatever you do, complete your mission before the sun is eclipsed. Answer 10 equations to move on to the next of 3 stages. Scoring. There's a fat score thing here. Eclipse, lose all energy, lose alive. Man, whatever looks like an eclipse, don't get it. Or maybe it's like timeout. I don't know. Gain credits. The credits there. Couple familiar names. Alright. Alright. Hope you're all ready for math for Ass Blaster here.